Snakes on my life.
What?
Man, alright.
Why'd you hit him? Did he attack you first from the self-defense, or did you hit him?
Man, I walked down the street. The man approached me with a gun.
We all know how unpredictable life can be. You can be a big NBA star one second and a homeless man the next. That's what happened with basketball player Delonte West, who went from riches to rags, when usually it's the other way around with most basketball players. A professional basketball player who has played for a number of NBA basketball teams, Delonte West was no small name. From Boston Celtics, Seattle Supersonics, Cleveland Cavaliers, to the Dallas Mavericks, West has conquered all. Even after he departed the NBA in 2012, he spent his time at the Texas Legends of the NBA Development League before he signed with the Fujian Zunzing of the Chinese Basketball Association, the Los Angeles Clippers for the 2014 NBA Summer League, the Shanghai Sharks of the Chinese Basketball Association, and then the Guaro de Lora of the Liga Profesional de Baloncesto. And when he returned to the Texas Legends in 2015, he was soon waved off after suffering a season-ending injury. But what exactly happened to Delonte West that made him go from riches to rags? The first time rumors of West being homeless surfaced on June 26, 2016, when he was spotted on a street corner in the state of Maryland, where it looked like he was panhandling. As a result, the rumor mill started about him being homeless, which also built a fair amount of momentum because of the fact that West has been known to be diagnosed with bipolar disorder that he also has disregarded many times because of whatever reason he might have. Of course, it did not help that former NBA players, as well as their counterparts in other professional sports leagues, have bankruptcy rates that are even higher than normal. This has resulted in a number of headlines in relatively recent times. However, it is important to note that the rumors of West going bankrupt are just that, rumors, which means that interested individuals should not give it too much credit. And if you needed any proof that the man himself has stated on social media that he was not homeless but only helping out a homeless man who was paralyzed from the neck down. Although considering how West suffers from a bipolar disorder, we cannot be sure of anything he says. But why is the bankruptcy rate of NBA stars higher than normal? And why is it so common? Regardless of what the truth is in West's situation, there's no denying that former NBA players' problems are more often than not associated with bankruptcy, making it a common problem for these players and their counterparts in other professional sports leagues. Sports Illustrated has even gone as far as to claim that an astonishing 60% of all former NBA players will go bankrupt after they leave the league. This is because these individuals have a number of common characteristics that can increase their chances of spending more than what they're bringing in. They also have needs that can increase the chances of being exploited by people that they should have been able to trust in the first place. Moreover, to uphold and show a certain kind of lifestyle, these individuals forget that they might not be making as much money as they used to. But since they are used to spending as much, all of their money goes out the window. When professional athletes reach the top of their career by signing a contract with a major league team, they almost always go on a spending spree within a short period of time. Sometimes they'll use that money to buy luxury cars, lavish homes, and other nicks and knacks that require a lot of money just to show the world that they can. And if they're not spending on themselves, then they spend that money on the people who matter to them. This could be done by either helping them with their necessities or by providing them with the same luxuries as well. There are a number of NBA stars who have bought their parents huge mansions and luxury cars just to thank them for getting these stars to this point in their lives. Even Delonte West bought homes for each of his parents and even provided financial assistance to most of his relatives. But regardless of what they spend their money on, these spending patterns are habit building, which means the said individuals struggle to all of a sudden stop spending so much money when they retire. This is when most of their streams of revenue dry up, leading to trickles of revenue. So they pretty much spend the same as they used to when they were making millions at a time when they are not even making $1 million a year. You can imagine the catastrophe that follows then as a result of all this overspending with money they don't have. But what most people don't know is that these professional athletes can sometimes also recognize this pattern, which is why most of them like to sink a sizable percentage of their earnings into an investment portfolio that will provide them with the regular income they need, which will last them the rest of their lives, or at least a long while. This is their long-term solution to a problem most of their fellow athletes also face. However, the problem arises when most of these stars fail to realize that they neither have the time nor the expertise or experience needed to manage such portfolios on their own. This leads to them hiring other professionals who they can trust to look after their financial interests. But even at this point, most of these stars manage to run into two problems. One, their willingness to spend coupled with their need for a high income makes them susceptible to people pitching investment opportunities that can be high reward, but at the same time, high risk. These are often nothing more than polite pretenses to cover financial scams. Second, their lack of interest or their inability to make time makes it possible for the responsible people to take advantage of them. Now, most stars would not admit this since it would be embarrassing for them, but it happens a lot more than you think. These problems get blown out of proportion when malicious individuals seek out professional athletes solely because they make easy targets. In Delonte West's case, his diagnosis of bipolar disorder is another known factor in his downfall. While it is manageable, it is still a mental health problem, which is usually associated with homelessness in the minds of most people. After all, one of the most common reasons for homelessness is these problems. This is because these can compromise the sufferer's ability to manage life on their own. That would still have been fine, they could have just taken help from someone else. But mental health disorders can also cause these sufferers to withdraw from anyone that tries to help them with their problems. Moreover, because homelessness further worsens mental health conditions, it can become more and more difficult for the homeless to get themselves out of situations like such. All that they know then is falling deeper and deeper into the pit. Since being photographed panhandling in Temple Hills, Maryland, and going viral, after which West denied claims of being homeless, there have been other proofs of his mental illness and homelessness. In January 2020, a video surfaced on the internet showing West being beaten on a Washington, D.C. highway. And that's not all. On September 28, 2020, a new set of photos circulating as West is seen panhandling at an intersection in Dallas, Texas. After this, Mavericks owner Mark Cuban picked him up from a gas station and offered to pay for rehab treatment and gave West a hotel room to stay in. But it was not until January 19, 2021, that reports came in about West getting a job at a rehab facility in Florida and him having been reunited with his mother. It's important to note that West has also admitted to having a troubled childhood. During his teenage years, West spent his time in children's hospitals after having abused drugs and engaged in self-harm. He was also received psychological counseling as ordered by the court previously when he was arrested for carrying multiple guns during a traffic violation in 2009. So it's safe to say that Delonte West has not been the NBA star that he once was. But regardless of how he might be doing now, Delonte West's case has once again highlighted the financial problems that are usually associated with a high percentage of former professional athletes. These problems are more often than not so grave that there are relevant institutions who have started all sorts of initiatives in order to combat them. And even though we do not know for sure whether these initiatives will be successful or not, considering how professional athletes usually have problems that are well known with solutions that are also well known, the chances of these initiatives to being successful are higher than they are low. And that's a wrap on how this NBA star became a homeless man. What do you think about the relevant question to the video? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.